Kevin, no, seriously, it's a serious question. Have you heard of the emoluments clause? Do you understand that that is in the Constitution?
He doesn't. No.
And do you understand that even if you think that maybe it might be okay,
how many fairies dance on a pin does not do policy.
Incredibly dubious.
So let me ask you a question.
That, right?
I'm sorry.
Let me just. But Kevin doesn't operate by the same morals and ethics and values that we're talking about.
I'm above that. I focus on
you're
policy.
So rich, you get to be above it. That's
it's nothing to do with wealth. It's policy, policy.
No, but here's the point about the policy. Let me make one point, fellas. Whew. If someone is willing to take a $400 million plane from a government, that the kinds of things that Van was talking about, people have, even Ted Cruz had some issues with this. What else is he willing to do?
Andrew here with the Veil of Power. Abby Phillip laid out the list on CNN. Saudi Towers, a LIV golf partnership, a Qatar golf club, a UAE hotel, crypto deals, an Oman resort, and a $400 million jet from Qatar being refurbished into Air Force One. Then she asked one word that made the whole MAGA panel flinch. Emoluments. Have you heard of the emoluments clause? Kevin O'Leary's answer was to call it Trump derangement syndrome and insist corruption is irrelevant to policy. Bakari Sellers had the cleaner phrase. But for the fact that Donald Trump is president, none of this would happen. So that is not business. That is a kleptocracy. Let's get into it.
According to our reporting, some of the deals going on right now: Saudi Arabia, 2 luxury towers, Live Golf Partnership, Qatar, Golf Club and Villas, UAE, luxury hotel, cryptocurrency deal, Oman, resort and golf project.
And the dinner.
I mean this sincerely. I mean, does it bother you that this is happening at the same time that these nation states are also trying to curry favor with Trump himself?
Well, it doesn't really bother me that people are in business for years, then their dad gets elected president, and then they continue to go on in business. We knew we were electing a businessman president. We knew his family was in business. So I think the American people have full visibility into that. Number 2.
But we're talking about new deals here, not existing deals.
Well, they're business people. They're cutting deals all the time.
You're okay with them cutting deals while Trump is sitting in the White House when he's going over there
countries that
to
are
negotiate
actively doing negotiations with
They're negotiating with every country in the world every day. Well, let me answer your question, the specific criticism about Hunter Biden. All the things you just mentioned, towers, golf courses, hotels, resorts, tangible things.
Cryptocurrency and meme coins, Scott, don't forget those.
You do something, money exchanges hands, a service is provided, a tower is built, a golf course is developed. Can you name one tangible service other than finger paintings that Hunter Biden provided for any money that changed hands?
I do think that is a fair critique of the Hunter Biden of it all. But you're not addressing the fact that in all of these countries, in order to do any of these things, they have to go to the political leadership of the countries to get them approved. That doesn't address that at all.
Abby, at 10:07, Scott was telling me how the biggest modern day conspiracy we've had in terms of a president, scandal, was Joe Biden and his health. And he said that, and then he criticized Chuck Schumer, right, about the fact that he didn't have any character because he didn't stand up to it. But at 10:27, 10:28, the argument has changed, because what we do know is that there is a $400 million jet from Qatar. What we do know is that there is a $5.5 million golf course in Qatar. What we do know is what Syria is offering Donald Trump. And what we do know is that the things that are happening in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, buying meme coins that mean absolutely nothing. The fact is, and I would love for Scott to be able to answer this question, but for the fact, and that's when I didn't really do well in law school, but I remember but for the fact Donald Trump is president of the United States, none of this would happen. And so that is what you call a kleptocracy. And so when you have children, and no, and one second, Kevin, because you wanted to talk about you wanted to talk about Kamala Harris being mediocre. Donald Trump Jr. and what's the other one? Eric are the definition of what mediocre is. And what I'm saying is that now they are reaping the benefits of their father.
Different direction?
Please.
Just for a moment, please.
No, guide me. I'm blind.
What does it do with Middle East policy? Please, just a moment.
Oh, no, please.
Excuse me.
Oh, yes,
what does this have to do with the fact that he is trying to create a circle of friendship with the fastest growing geographies in the world before China does?
But wait a second.
Wait, let me finish.
Well,
on this trip, I just want to introduce an idea. This has nothing to do with policy.
Go ahead. I'm locked in.
What does this have to do with policy?
One thing that I've heard for the last 4 or 5 years is anytime anyone had any criticism of the United States foreign policy in Gaza or whatever, is that these people would be being paid by a resource-rich government that propped up and funded terrorism, which was over in Qatar. Every single time. They were buying influence in Ivy League schools. They were buying influence in social media. They were buying influence everywhere. So anytime you saw somebody you were saying that anytime somebody was thought to have any dealings with the Qataris, they were thought as being intellectually and morally tainted. Except the President of the United States, who takes a $400 million plane from them, literally is refurbishing it to be Air Force.
Who cares about the plane? What does that have to do with the fact?
Because it's
Wait a second.
You know what?
A lot of Americans care about the plane because they see the corruption. This is the most corrupt president we've ever had.
Why focus on something that is irrelevant to the policy?
It's not irrelevant.
It's completely irrelevant.
How is it irrelevant?
Would you rather have the Chinese there? Would you rather have them there?
Kevin, the United States Constitution would like to have a word. The United States Constitution would like to have a word. That's why people care, right?
People care
because the reason that that's in the Constitution is to prevent the President of the United States from accepting things that are being perceived as bribes.
What is the national interest of this trip?
The goal of the trip is not to get a giant gift that he can say belongs to him as president, but then he takes with him when he leaves the office.
Abby, you have to distance yourself from Trump derangement syndrome. It's irrelevant to policy. It doesn't matter.
Okay,
what matters is, why are all these AI guys on this trip?
Have you heard of the emoluments clause?
Wait. Why are all these AI guys on this trip?
Have you heard of the emoluments clause?
Wait. Why do you have all the leaders?
Kevin, no, seriously, it's a serious question. Have you heard of the emoluments clause? Do you understand that that is in the Constitution?
He doesn't. No.
And do you understand that even if you think that maybe it might be okay,
how many fairies dance on a pin does not do policy.
Incredibly dubious.
So let me ask you a question.
That, right?
I'm sorry.
Let me just say, but Kevin doesn't operate by the same morals and ethics and values that we're talking about.
I'm above that. I focus on
you're
policy.
So rich, you get to be above it.
It's nothing to do with wealth. It's policy. No,
but here's the point about the policy. Let me make one point, fellas. If someone is willing to take a $400 million plane from a government, that the kinds of things that Van was talking about, people have said, even Ted Cruz had some issues with this. What else is he willing to do? And Scott, you're talking about these tangible things. Meme coins are not tangible. They're nothing. Cryptocurrency is nothing. There is a bidding war going on right now with governments and countries and companies. We have no idea what their alignments are to buy enough meme coins to buy access to our
There's a story tonight in the New York Times about a very mysterious company that bought hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Trump meme coins with links to China. So, there are some real questions and concerns about the money that is being made here.
The emoluments thing you raised, it's a good question. It's a legitimate debating point, and I assume it'll ultimately be tested in court. The administration has a point of view on it. I assume they're going to be sued, or I don't know how you would get it into court on this, but my assumption is ultimately the Supreme Court is the only people who can give us some arbitration on this. So I assume that's where it's.
Let's start with the 4 words that broke the MAGA defense, because Bakari Sellers handed everyone the test that settles this. But for the fact, it is a legal phrase, and it cuts through all the noise. But for the fact that Donald Trump is president, would any of these deals be happening? The Saudi towers, the Qatar golf club, the UAE hotel, the crypto deals, the jet, Ask that honestly and the whole thing collapses because everyone at that table already knows the answer. None of it happens. If he is a private citizen, that is the definition of corruption, not a side detail. Now watch how Kevin O'Leary tried to escape that. He kept shouting, policy, 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 insisting any focus on the money is just Trump derangement syndrome. Think about what that phrase is built to do. It is not an argument. It is a thought terminator. It exists to make you feel embarrassed for noticing a $400 million plane, as if the corruption is normal and the person noticing is the problem. When someone cannot defend the facts, they attack you for caring about them. And when Abby Phillip named the actual issue, the emoluments clause, they laughed and waved it off as irrelevant. But that clause is in the Constitution for one specific reason, and Phillip stated it exactly. It exists to stop the president from taking gifts from foreign governments that could function as bribes. This is not some obscure technicality invented last week to get Trump. The founders wrote it in because they feared a leader who could be quietly bought by foreign powers. And so when O'Leary says it does not matter, he is not disagreeing with CNN. He is disagreeing with the Constitution itself. Here is the part that exposes the whole game. And Van Lathan nailed it. For years, the same crowd told us anyone connected to Qatari money was morally and intellectually tainted. Qatar buying influence at Ivy League schools on social media, funding terror. That was their line. And now the president takes that same $400 million plane from Qatar and refurbishes it into Air Force One, and suddenly Qatari money is fine. It is only a scandal when someone else touches it. So that is not a principle, that is a weapon. They point in one direction only. Then there's the tangible things dodge. Jennings and O'Leary argued Trump's family deals are legitimate because they involve real things. Towers, golf courses, hotels. As if the existence of a building proves nobody is buying access. But that falls apart instantly. The concern was never whether the tower is real, it is why a foreign government approves it right as the president is negotiating with that same government. The building is not a defense, it is the mechanism. A meme coin and a hotel can both carry the same transaction, money flowing to the president in exchange for favor. And the crypto angle is where it gets genuinely dark because it is built to be untraceable. And there is reporting about a mysterious company pouring hundreds of millions into Trump meme coins, with possible links to China. We have no idea who is buying or what they are promised. It is a bidding war for access to the president, run through an asset built so nobody can follow the money. That is not a business venture. That is a channel for foreign influence with the lights off. Notice where Jennings landed when he ran out of room. He conceded the emoluments question was legitimate, then said the Supreme Court will sort it out eventually. That is the escape hatch. Punted to a courts this same movement spent years reshaping, then treat the delay as vindication. But a constitutional violation does not stop being one because the referee is friendly. It is happening now in public. So no, this is not derangement. It is the most basic accountability question there is. But for the fact that he holds the office, none of this exists. So if that landed, drop a comment and subscribe. Andrew out. Let's go.